Hey boys and girls, so we're going to get into a new project today. Today we're going to be creating dot art. And dot art originates from the Aboriginal people of Australia. So the Aboriginal people, also known as the Indigenous people, were the original people of Australia. Just like how Native Americans are the original people of America. So they created many different types of tools and instruments that they made from hand out of many natural materials like wood or stone. So they had a particular type of art called dot art, which we're going to be making today. And the dot art normally tells stories. It has to deal with some type of storytelling. So for the project, we're going to need quite a bit of materials. So starting off, we're going to need some form of a tube. So I have a paper towel roll right here. You're going to need a pair of scissors, a pencil, some tape or glue. You're going to need about 2 sheets of foil. For the color part, I'm going to be using paint. So I have my paints right here. It's all tempera paint. Along with that, I'm going to need some Q-tips for my dot art, maybe a palette to put all my paints on, and a paintbrush. If you do not have paint at home, then you will need markers. You can get away with using color pencils and crayons as well, but you're going to have to make your own dots. And you're also going to be needing paper, maybe about 2 sheets. So the first step for this project is I want you to think of an animal. Not just any animal, but an animal that would make the perfect spirit animal for you. Take a second and think about it. So for Ms.Anderson LaRose, a flamingo would be the perfect spirit animal. So I'm going to draw a flamingo on my paper, right in the center of my paper. I'm only drawing the outline of this animal. So there's my flamingo. There's my spirit animal. I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to lightly divide my background, which is the area around my flamingo, around my spirit animal. I'm going to divide that background up into different sections. So I'm going to lightly take my pencil and just split it up. So I took my paints and I colored each section around my spirit animal. So this is what it looks like once I finish. My next step is I'm going to take a Q-tip and I'm going to dip it in the white paint and I'm going to create my dots along the lines which separate each color from one another. And then I'm also going to make dots around my spirit animal with this white. If you want to, you can add dots of other colors within each section. All right, so there we have our completed painting. Now I'm just going to let it sit and dry. So now that the painting is dry, I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to draw my Aboriginal symbols. So to make my rain stick, I'm going to start it off with a sheet of paper. I'm going to take my tube and I'm going to put it on the paper. I'm going to trace it. So I should have a circle that is as wide and round as this tube. I'm going to do it twice. I have 2 circle-ish shapes on my paper. I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to make a circle around it again. So now I have 2 donuts on my paper. All right, so now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut these 2 donuts out. So I have my 2 donuts and I'm going to now snip into each one. So they're now cut. So this is where my tape comes in handy now. And I'm going to take my circle, one of them, the other one I'm going to push to the side. And I'm going to take the top of my tube and I'm going to place this one on the top. So I cut slits into each one. So I'm going to start to tape them down onto the tube. So I taped it down. You want to make sure that you cover up all the holes with some tape so that when we put the rice in, it won't fall through any holes. Okay, now that we have one side already patched up, I'm going to now put this aside, take our aluminum foil, and I want to roll it to scrunch it up, squeeze it, and I'm going to make a spiral with it. So like a swirl. I'm going to take my other sheet of foil and I'm going to do the same thing. This time I want to squeeze it tighter. And I'm going to make an even tighter swirl. So make it a skinnier swirl. So I'm going to put this smaller swirl into the bigger swirl. I'm going to put them both into my tube. Take my rice. You want to make sure it's dry rice. Do not put cooked rice into this, please. Dry rice. Make like a maraca sound. And you're going to pour the rice in slowly and carefully. And then I'm going to do the same thing that I did on this side with this. Okay, so both sides have been taped up pretty well and reinforced. And if you tilt it, you can hear your rain stick sound. The foil in the center, the coil that we made, creates an extended sound for the rice. I'm going to flip my painting over. And I'm going to roll it up. All right, once it's rolled up, I'm going to take my tape and I'm going to tape it off at the top once again to reinforce it. And I'm going to do the same thing to the bottom. And here is my rain stick. And when I turn it, you can hear the sounds that it makes. So you all have fun with your rain sticks. Thank you for making art with me. Bye-bye.